Hey team, it's your girl, the product girl, back again with some real talk on what it takes to be a rockstar PM. So this role has some serious superpowers, so let's get to it. Your superpower number one is communication. You're gonna have to be able to communicate to executives and align them with your vision, motivate your engineers on requirements that you have set. You're gonna have to work with design on prototypes, and then you're gonna have to market to customers on what you built and why it's important. But remember, communication is a huge part of it, but also being a world-class proactive listener. So think about the 80-20 rule, because you're gonna have to make sure that you can absorb feedback from all sides to be able to incorporate this into your strategy. So being able to listen 80% of the time and then talk 20% of the time, and sometimes it could even go up to a 90-10 at certain points. But also remember, your communication style and how effectively you communicate will determine how you can influence without authority, because this is really important. Product managers, they don't manage people. So being able to have that clear, concise, transparent communication will get everyone aligned on the same goals so that you have high morale, there's not any miscommunications, and no missed deadlines. Then you have superpower number two. This is psychological prowess. I know it's not a common term and most people haven't heard of it, but it's the ability to work with different personalities and work styles. And having that strong emotional intelligence is really gonna help you when you're working with such diverse skill sets. And knowing how to tailor your approach to each individual is gonna be clutch. You have to be psychologically savvy. This means you're gonna need to read in between the lines of what your customers want, their motivations, and their pain points. And then you also have to have empathy and understanding so that you can find a common ground. For example, I've led engineers for quite some time now, and each team is different. Each person is different. I had an engineer tell me, look, just tell me what needs to be worked on, just give me the priorities and I'll be fine. Had another engineer that after every sprint, we got on a call and he was like, look, I just need to know why we're doing this, what we expect to get out of this, and that's fine. And also, some engineers are more outspoken than others. Like I said, I had an engineer that was just very to himself, didn't speak up as much in sprint meetings, but that was okay. And then I had other engineers that were more outspoken. The engineer that wasn't as verbal was more verbal in our one-on-ones. So, like I said, being able to tailor your approach to each individual needs is gonna be clutch as a PM. Superpower number three is adaptability. So as a product manager, you're living in a world where there's this constant life cycle of shifting priorities because your requirements are constantly changing. So you're gonna need to adapt quickly. And as you adapt, you're gonna start seeing that, wait, I really need to be very organized. I need to have ruthless prioritization and also cut through the ambiguity to be able to laser focus your teams on what matters most. That unknown as a PM happens all day, every day, and you're gonna really need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You're gonna have to continuously reevaluate and reprioritize as new data emerges and new problems come on your plate. Being a product manager is so different than any other role that I've had in my previous early year experiences, because the adaptability behind it is something that I had to really learn, because I'm a very structured person. And as a product manager, you need structure, you need organization, but you do not want to be very, lack of a better term, OCD about it, that 1, 2, 3 has to happen in this order, otherwise I don't know what I'm gonna do. So adaptability, extremely important. And as you get further in your career, it's gonna be like muscle memory. I can tell you in the beginning of my career, I was not comfortable with being uncomfortable. I had a structure in place, if a stakeholder told me to do something, but I already had a plan in place, it was very hard for me to pivot and be adaptable. And this is a superpower for a product manager. If a stakeholder or a customer comes to you, or there is an outage, or there's a bug in the product, or you need a recall, you need to be able to pivot. And as you get further in your career, these pivots are going to be more common for you. So you're already going to have an A, B, C plan in place so that when these things do happen, you know how to handle them with stride. Superpower number 4 is prioritization. This is absolutely critical for product managers. You are the ultimate decision maker and prioritization expert behind your product. You're going to be getting inputs from so many people and various perspectives, and you're going to need to find a way to commit to these priorities so that you can maximize your ROI and the impact that the product has. It's this constant juggling act of new features, requests, maybe something happens with the product, whatever the case is, you're constantly juggling different priorities. From what I've seen with elite product managers, they are masters at prioritization. They'll literally take things from every single angle, marketing, sales, customers, engineers, design, you name it, and they'll find a way to put it in their roadmap to be able to execute, which really helps to guide the team's focus. And this is absolutely an organizational superpower. A good way to look at this is to take a big rocks versus small rocks approach. And this is a very powerful visual on the concept of understanding prioritization and effective time management. So the idea here is that an individual is tasked with putting big rocks and small pebbles into a jar. So if you put the small rocks in first, the big rocks are not going to fit. By focusing on your big tasks first, you can ensure that your core responsibilities and your objectives are met. Then you can put in your small rocks for your smaller task. So this analogy is very helpful for product managers, I think. I know when I first saw it, I was like, wait, this is incredible, because I'm a visual person. So it really creates that powerful visual so you can prioritize effectively and really get that time management. Then you have superpower number 5, which is technical and business acumen. So you're gonna need to be credible on both sides of the equation. From a technical perspective, you're gonna need to understand how to break down requirements and have appreciation for the constraints. You don't need to know how to code, but you're gonna need to understand how the product is built so that you can communicate effectively to your stakeholders, to your customers, and anyone outside of the organization. You know, when I first started being a product manager, I underestimated the value of being technical. When I ended up getting into a technical role, everything changed, because if you don't understand the technicality behind a product, you could be giving customers the wrong answer when they ask for things. For example, they may ask for a feature that is not technically capable, it's not possible, but you say, hey, I can go do it. But when you really get technical and you understand the infrastructure and how the product is built, you're gonna think twice about saying yes or no to a customer. So being technical, I think, is a superpower, because not all product managers are technical. A lot of the ones that I've spoken to are more front end, oh, this feature's great, innovation, strategy. But I would say if you're not in a technical role, or if you don't have a technical background, I would highly recommend, taking courses. You can find them on YouTube or Udemy or any of these sites, even, as simple as Google, reading articles, or, at my site, productgirl.io, there is a technical portion, very Cliff's Notes version. So I highly advocate for this. On the business side, you're gonna need to have deep domain expertise. Now, this goes beyond just understanding the company. When you start a job, you want to understand what the company's about, the mission, the vision, and the goals, and that's great. But you need to become an expert expert in the overall industry that you're in and the market landscape, understanding not only your current customers, but you need to have vision and start thinking about your potential customers. So you need to ask questions like, what are the current opportunities? What are the trends? What are the problems? You need to think about your competitors and think about what they're currently doing. Who are they? What offerings are they offering your possible future customers, but also their current customers? Where can you differentiate yourself in the market? And by really understanding the business side, not only internally, but externally, you're going to be able to create opportunities for the company, the product, the customers that may not even currently exist. And all of this is strategy, and a big part of being in that business sense and having it as your superpower is strategy. So having this level of domain knowledge is really going to help you create strategic opportunities for your product and the business. All right, product people, so there you have it. The 5 essential superpowers for PM greatness. If you can nail all of these things, you're gonna absolutely crush it as a product manager. So if you found this video helpful, please click the like and subscribe button. And if you have any burning PM topics or any questions, please place them in the comments below. And thank you for watching. And as always, I'll see you soon.